Good afternoon, everybody. Um, Certainly glad we got another game to play after Saturday night. That was just such a great football team we played down there in New York City, Yankee Stadium. It's a great experience for our players to be able to be in that venue and to play a blue blood program like Notre Dame with the history of these two institutions, West Point and Notre Dame, playing against each other, uh, going decades back, with the great teams, the great players, the great coaches of old, and I mean, really awesome to just kind of rekindle that rivalry, as they call it. As I said Saturday nights, not much of a rivalry unless you win sometimes. And unfortunately, we didn't do a great job of holding up our end of the competition. They were really good. Just so impressed with them in every phase. Coach Worley, our offensive coordinator, said they're like a professional team, just professional in everything that they do, the way they approach the game, the way they play the game, the way they're coached, and it's true. They were very well prepared. Their kids played really hard. They were physical, tough. They had obviously a lot to play for. They were very motivated to be there and to win that game, and just physically they outmatched us. And I wish that weren't the case, and I wish we could have done some things in every phase to try to equalize that a little bit better, but we didn't, and unfortunately we lost the game. But it's proud of our guys and their effort all the way through. There wasn't one long face on the sideline. Our guys continued to battle and continued to compete through the entire game, and that's that's not much for the end result, but I'm very happy with the fight in our team and the culture that this team has, and that that kept those guys going all the way through. And it's hard not to be discouraged when you're going through something like that. And I know they're human nature. You're going to be discouraged, but the fight and the toughness and the effort remained, and so hopefully that'll carry us through this week. We've got another outstanding football team we're getting ready to play. They've won 3 games in a row. Beat a outstanding Memphis team, was ranked in the top 25. Beat North Texas, who we saw a few weeks ago, an excellent team, and just beat Temple very handily this past weekend. So they're a good team and playing very well right now. Coach Traylor does an outstanding job. I have so much respect for him, and just what he's built there and the success that they've had. He's got a roster of guys really from the state of Texas, and they play with a lot of pride and representing that program and representing the state of Texas when they play. So every game we've played against them has been a battle. This will be the 5th time we've played UTSA. The last time that they were here, they won an overtime victory over us, and it was just a hard-fought, tough football game. And I anticipate that's what we're going to get on Saturday. I hope we're able to match their team in terms of how they play physically, and they're very athletic and long, and again, we're going to find ourselves in some one-on-one battles where perhaps their personnel is maybe a mismatch for us. So we got to make up for that by playing well as a team, and that's what we're going to try to do. Glad to be back home, playing for our seniors the last time that they'll play in Mikey Stadium, and that's this an opportunity to honor them and honor their careers, and most of all, we want to honor them with the way we play and how hard and how tough we play the game. So looking forward to being back home and having a chance to play one more conference game.
Rich, kick us off. Jeff, I know I ask you this every year, but what do you think the legacy of this senior class is going to be?
I think really for this senior class is the resiliency that they've showed they've shown over the course of their 4 years. In 2021, they were a freshman class who watched us beat Missouri in a bowl game, which was a huge win for our program. Back-to-back 6-6 seasons, which frankly were frustrating at times, but the leadership that they've shown this year, the way this senior class has led our program, is as good as any senior class I've ever been a part of. And so that leaves a legacy for the guys coming behind them, the juniors and sophomores and freshmen we have in our program now, to watch these guys lead and to watch how they've handled success, how they've handled defeat. Our younger players are learning lessons, not only about leadership in football, but also leadership in their careers beyond and in their lives beyond. So that's an important legacy, not just the success on the field, which we've had a lot this year, and to be here at this point in the season and still have a chance to play for a conference championship, a CIC championship, and a bowl championship is pretty fantastic for this group of seniors. So I'm very proud of them, and love these guys very much. And hopefully we can play really, really well together one more time here at Mikey Stadium.
UTSA and the rivalry with them. Looking at that team, right? And we go through the year and there's teams with a lot of transfers, right? 30, 40 players. It doesn't seem like that many on UTSA. What does that say about their program of doing it differently when you look at this team?
The positive culture is very apparent. In this day and age, to see a team, particularly a group of 5 team, with so few transfers, what that means is that Coach Traylor has built a culture that their players want to be a part of, and that they enjoy playing there. They enjoy playing for those coaches. They're feeling rewarded, not just monetarily, but being rewarded by being a part of that program. And that's no surprise. Coach Traylor is a very successful high school coach. He's beloved in that state by the high school coaches. And I'm sure that just like Coach McGuire at Texas Tech, those Texas high school coaches feel a sense of loyalty to Coach Traylor, and they want to send their players there. And I'm certain they tell the players, you're going to go play for a great guy, and you stay there and play there. And a lot of college players seek guidance from their high school coaches that they trust and believe in. And I'm sure with all the great players that Coach Traylor's had, that he's had plenty of them that have thought about or been pursued by other colleges to transfer, and he's been able to hang on to them. It's really impressive. He's got a great staff, and they do a really good job of coaching those guys. They develop players. They've had guys go to the NFL, so it's a place that I think young men see themselves going, and it's a destination. It's not a stop along the way for something bigger. They've got a great program, a terrific venue to play in, a great city. So I think that's all credit to Coach Traylor and what he's built there.
Connor, kick us off on Zoom.
Seth, you can start us.
Good afternoon, Coach. The next 3 games are probably the games that will define the Army 2024 Army football season. First question is of 2 is do you think your players are ready to go, and do you think that the loss to Notre Dame motivates them even more, especially going into a game with UTSA and their big high-powered offense?
I don't know that they need more motivation than what's already there. The opportunity to play UTSA, who's a great team. We got a lot of guys on our team from the state of Texas, as I've said. That's our most well-represented state, and so I think it's exciting for them to play a team from their home state, play a conference game, and we have a chance to finish the regular season conference schedule undefeated, which is a it would be a great accomplishment for our program and for this team. So there's a lot of motivation there. The loss to Notre Dame, and it's difficult to lose a game like that. But frankly, I don't know that losing a game motivates us more for the next game, other than just maybe finding the things that we feel like we could have done better and trying to improve on those things. And I'm not making any excuses for our players. We needed to have played blocks better and play our gaps better. We needed to have blocked better and sustained blocks more effectively to win the game. But we're talking about a team that's a professional team. They are, for all intents and purposes, a professional team. So it's different. If Notre Dame played the Pittsburgh Steelers got a bigger payroll than Notre Dame team's got. So, there's probably a disparity in the talent level and the depth at each position. And it is what it is. So, it's not like our guys come out of Notre Dame just screaming mad, like, oh man, we were highly motivated to play that game. And we're very disappointed that we didn't win the game. But it doesn't put more emphasis on the UTSA game than is already there. It's a conference game. With a win in this game, we have a chance to host the conference championship game. So that's a lot of motivation right there, and it would be awesome to do that, and certainly a source of pride for us to win all of our conference games in our first year. And it's going to take a heck of an effort. I mean, UTSA is playing as well as anybody in our conference right now, and they are way more talented collectively as a team than we are. So we got plenty of motivation to try to win, and so that's where our heads are at right now. Not licking our wounds or feeling sorry for ourselves, and not saying, hey, we're going to show them. It's just we're trying to get prepared to win a game. Put whatever is done behind us, which is what our team has done so well this year. They've been very mature and professional from that regard. They put everything behind us and moved on to the next one, and that's what we need them to do this Saturday, is to put everything behind us. And this afternoon is really just focus on UTSA and get ready for a great football team that we've had to battle tooth and nail to compete with every time we've played.
My second and last question is, can you give us an update on any injuries? People who got hurt in the game against Notre Dame, and whether they're going to be back for Saturday?
That was a extremely physical football game. Notre Dame is a tough, rugged football team, and just so much respect for Coach Freeman, Coach Denbrock, Coach Golden, Coach Biaggi, their head coach and their coordinators. I mean, they had a great plan and played at a really high level, at least we thought, against us. And they were physical. And our guys came out of that game feeling it. They were beat up, and we had a lot of guys on Sunday when we came back for practice that were, just feeling the effects of that game on Saturday night. Hopefully this afternoon we're going to be a little bit healthier, rested, and recovered. There are a couple of guys that won't practice today, but we anticipate that they will play on Saturday. There are a couple who are questionable right now, but we're hopeful. We're keeping our fingers crossed that they'll be able to recover from what happened on Saturday night and be ready for this coming weekend. We didn't lose anybody to any serious injuries where they're going to be out for an extended period of time or for the season or anything like that, which we were very fortunate there. And always happy when we can come out of a game and say that. So just mostly beat up and bruised, and that I guess stands to reason we played one of the best football teams in the country. So they took it to us pretty good.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks, Seth.
We'll go to Joe.
Afternoon, Coach Monken, Joe Icono, GoBlackKnights.com. First question is kind of a little bit of a piggyback off of the injury situation. Specifically, we could see visibly at the safety position, Max left the game and then came back with what looked like a knee. And Casey Larkin was kind of coming in and out of the game with some arm issues, is what it looked like. With UTSA's passing game, they've thrown for almost 3,000 yards. Their quarterback, Owen McCown, has obviously an extremely prolific passing game. Even if your team were at 100%, it'd be a big challenge. Are you concerned at all around the health of the defensive backfield and being able to keep up with the UTSA receivers?
Yes, I'm concerned.
Okay. And follow up to that is, you've spoken multiple times about the leadership and professionalism and maturity of the senior class and the team. After a tough loss like Saturday, we saw Navy take the game the following week against the Rice team that they were probably better than and got beat relatively handily by Rice. How was the attitude and demeanor of your team yesterday in meetings and practice? Coming off the Notre Dame game and mentally and emotionally, how are they handling everything?
I was encouraged by our team in the locker room on Saturday night. Certainly, we were disappointed that we lost the game, but our guys aren't going to let a loss to the number 5 team in the country derail us from our attitude and effort toward beating UTSA. It's not, we weren't handing out hankies in the locker room and, guys crying because they didn't beat Notre Dame. We wanted to win the game and fully expected to win the game. We didn't play well enough to beat them. We were going to have to play really, really well to have a chance, and we didn't. So we can let it derail us and cause us to have a crappy attitude today in practice and tomorrow, and go into Saturday thinking, oh well, if we could have beaten them. Our guys don't think that way, and I think most competitors don't. There are some big games that often linger in your conscious, and they hurt for a while, but our guys wanted to win the game. We didn't. We recognize things we can do better. We have to do those things on Saturday if we're going to beat UTSA, but I think our guys will be highly motivated to play, and hopefully they're motivated because it's an opportunity to win a conference game and finish undefeated in the league. And pardon me. And also to have our seniors play their last game in Mikey Stadium and have a great experience and win the football game and have that memory. So there's plenty to play for, and I'm encouraged by our guys. I don't know that can't compare what happens with one team and another. There were a lot of circumstances with that game. You're talking about maybe losing to Notre Dame and then going to Rice. I think they had an 8-hour delay or something like that. I don't know how long it took from kickoff to the finish of the game, but that's a little bit different to playing a game like that too. So, there's circumstances that likely affected that outcome as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll go to John Sharan.
Good afternoon, Coach. Looking at this week's game, could you talk about 2 or 3 of the opposing players that are giving you concerns?
Well, if I single out 2 or 3 of them, then the other 19 or 20 are going to be mad that I didn't mention them and think that, I didn't notice them on film. That's what I noticed. I noticed a really athletic team, long, fast, physical football team. And that's in every phase. And you watch them play the last 3 weeks, they're playing like they ought to be in the conference championship. And they are talented enough and well coached enough. And I know Coach Traylor, I listened to his press conference and some of the frustrations he's had with maybe not being from a record standpoint where they'd like to be, because they've got an outstanding football team, and they're playing like it right now. So for us, I mean, all of them. We are just talking about the quarterback and throwing for all those yards. He not throwing any passes to himself. So they got a great receiving core. They're big on the offensive line. They do a really good job of run blocking. They've got dynamic runners. They're fast, explosive. Defensively, I mean, they are active and athletic, and I mean, I couldn't tell you one matchup, not one where I think, oh yeah, we got the upper hand on these guys in that matchup. It's not one. So it's just going to take a tremendous effort on our part, and I so much respect for Coach Traylor and for this team that we're getting ready to play. We played last year. We played about as well as we could play against them last year. I mean, very few mistakes, and we were able to win the game. We made a bunch of fourth downs. We didn't turn the ball over. We just played really, really well. And I mean, it was a slugfest for us to the end. We never felt like, hey, we got it in the bag. We were fighting to the very end. So it's going to be that kind of game, and we're going to have to play really well.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll go to Ken McMillan.
Hi, Jeff. Just to go back on the injury thing, the loss of Kyle Lewis, how did it affect the Notre Dame game, and what's his prognosis?
We miss Kyle being out there on the field. We miss him being dressed out in the locker. He was there in the locker room. He's doing a great job leading our teams there on the sideline, encouraging our guys, pushing our guys. And we'd like to have every player on our roster healthy and ready to go for every game. And certainly him. He's a starter. He's a multi-year starter. And we would have liked to have had him in the game, but I think he makes a difference for us when he's in there. I don't know that having Kyle Lewis in the game was going to win us the football game. I mean, he only plays one position, and there were plenty of guys at other positions pushing us around pretty good. And that's no knock on our players. I call it like it is, and they know it, and they'd acknowledge that. And so, I'd like to have him in the lineup on Saturday. He's not going to be, but other guys will step up, and I'm sure they'll fight and play as hard as they can.
Jeff, you indicated the other day you were very unhappy with the punt block. Can you give us just sort of a quick review of what broke down there, and are there any thoughts about changing punter because Cooper was playing last year?
No, it wasn't the punter's fault. He kind of bobbled it a little bit, but that wasn't his fault. I'm embarrassed when we get a kick blocked, because we spent an inordinate amount of time on that fundamental and on that scheme, and we haven't had a punt block since Cincinnati in 2020. Ironically, Marcus Freeman was on the other sideline for that one too. But it's embarrassing to have that happen. It was one guy, and he just got antsy, and he was in the shield. The guy rushed the shield. It's the same protection we've been running for, this protection since 2008. So same punt protection. And we've had very few punts blocked over the course of those 16 or 17 seasons. So I believe in the protection is just a poor fundamental. And we had a guy rushing from the outside of the shield. He jumped out to get him, didn't need to. Guy went inside, threw his hand up in front of the punt, and a little bit of a bobble probably slowed him down a little bit, got him a little close to the shield, and that was that. But had we just used good fundamentals in the protection part, even the bobble, we probably would have gotten the ball off. And it's unfortunate, because giving them a 7-yard field to play on, we really helped them, and they didn't need our help.
Jeff, a question on the seniors. Personally, as a coach, you have classes come and go, but what's it like for you to send off a group like this, even though you do have 4 games remaining? But what's it like for you to send off these guys on their last home game, and every year you give us an unsung senior member that we don't always read about or see about. Do you have any this year?
Well, one, I think this is a great day to just recognize those guys. This isn't the last game, as you said, so it's not a send-off. It's just an opportunity to honor them, to honor their families and their parents and people that they love that are going to be there, and will join them on the field before the game. It's great to do that, and I think every school does that, and it's important that we do that. And I'm really proud of these guys. I'm proud of what they've accomplished this year as a senior class and how they've led our team. The resiliency that they've showed through some average years, going 6-6 2 years in a row after playing in a bowl game as freshmen. And I'm proud of them for what they'll do when they graduate from West Point and the commitment that they've made. And so to honor them is really special. There are a lot of seniors on our team that come to mind, and I'd like to talk about every single one of them. But you know, the one guy that stands out to me in this class is Cody Winokur. He was with us and was sent to the Army in the Army Mentorship Program from West Point, and he came back. Just I can't say enough about how that experience positively affected him, his ability to lead, his perspective, his maturity, and he earned his place as one of our captains. He didn't come back and was an instant starter. In fact, he's never started a game here. But our guys have so much respect for him, and his perspective, I think, has positively affected our locker room and our program. And so I have probably leaned on him more than any of our captains just because of his maturity and his experience this year. And he's mature enough and has experience working with superior officers and non-commissioned officers when he was in the Army Mentorship Program that he's not afraid to say what needs to be said. And I appreciate that perspective. And he'll come to me and just talk to me about things in the program, and I ask his opinion, and it's man to man. And so he's had as much of an effect, I think, on our success quietly this year than anybody in our program. And that's not to take away from our other captains or our other seniors. This is a really special group. They are a group of guys just with a lot of class, a lot of professionalism, very determined, very humble, and it's been a lot of fun to coach these guys this year, from last January in the off season all the way to now. It's been really, it's been a great group to coach. So I'm glad we got 4 more games together. We're just 2/3 of the way over our season. We got almost 1/3 of the season left. So I'm pretty excited about that. We got a lot of football left to play.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.